It was just under 2 weeks ago that we were stood next to this very trophy at Wembley Stadium with everything on the line. Now, this trophy belongs to us, sitting proudly in the club's boardroom.
It's getting right at home, adorned, of course, in red and white ribbons. In this episode of Charlton TV, we're going to be taking a look back at what was such a special day under the iconic arches at the home of England football, joined, of course, by 40,000 of you addicts, as well as those of you from further afield supporting us.
Plenty to talk about then, right after this. Yes, after our little jaunt to Wembley, we're delighted to say we are back here in the Charlton TV studio, joined by not only our legendary regulars, but also the trophy itself. How good does that look? Absolutely amazing. And of course, it's next to a guy who knows a thing or two about winning a playoff final as well. Okay, lots to come in the show. This is just a little bit of what is coming up. We'll take a detailed look back at the game, and our expert panel will talk us through the Addicts and how we were able to win it. We'll discuss what this man has done in the last 16 to 17 months to put the Addicts in the position to get promoted to the Championship. And we'll talk through the incredible build-up and then the wonderful celebrations post-match. Charlotte will be giving us the lowdown on some of the incredible fan stories from the day. We'll hear from board member Ed Warwick, and we'll look ahead to what might be next season. Yeah, with all that, delighted to say we do have Stevie Brownie, Leyton Orient legend, Kevin Lisbie, bit harsh, and Sir Alan Curbishley. Curbs, you all right there? Can you poke your head around there?
I'm surprised Nathan's give it back, actually. I thought he was stuck to him.
Before we actually touch on the trophy and the game itself and the whole emotion around it as well, I do believe you're doing a bit of babysitting at the moment, is that right?
Oh, it's tough. It's worse than looking after 50 footballers, isn't it? 2 grandkids.
You never had 50, did you?
Don't do that. No. You know, it's tough.
You had a problem with YouTube as well, didn't you, with the youngest?
Yeah, YouTube. Even getting it on, you know what I mean? Where they live, they just talk to the telly.
Yeah? They're telling what to do.
What kind of telly you got?
We've got controls.
He's still on his Nokia 1 mobile phone, so...
He's got bashing back to it.
I've got a payphone in mine.
And Brownie, you're looking well, I have to say.
Well, it's an optical illusion.
Someone actually said in rehearsal, Jurgen Klopp teeth.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're a bit shiny. See, bright lights they have on us. I'll do my best to keep my mouth shut, but okay, don't want to smile too much. Cheekbones hurt.
Nobody chipping in with anything there at all?
You left Liz alone. Why?
No,
I'm just...
But Leyton Orient
I've left him
straight
alone.
away. Got it in very early with Leyton Orient.
That went over most people's heads.
No.
You got nothing else?
No, actually, let's talk about your boy. Well done.
Oh, yeah, signed for Peterborough. So it's been a long 3 or 4 years, non-league, Sunday League, and now he's got an opportunity to play for a really good club that develop young kids and help them push on.
Brilliant. Really pleased for you, Liz.
Yeah.
Leyton Orient legend. Final one. Final one of the trophy, because we will get out of the way, so people want to see you as well as the trophy. Curbs, how good is it to know that it's there and it's ours?
To be honest, I mean, it was... I think going into the final, Charlton was so far ahead of Orient in terms of points and everything else, and you're looking at it thinking, oh no, could it be an upset? But although Orient played okay and they knocked it around and looked quite bright, once we scored, we know what's going to happen. And we defended great, and that's been the big thing about the team since Nathan's took over, especially this season. That if we score, we're going to be difficult to beat.
Yeah. Okay. Look, let's move it out the way now. No disrespect to the trophy itself, but obviously we want to see Curbs properly.
Nate wants it back. Do you
want to pass it down? Okay. Anyone wants to get a touch on it?
I'm golden.
God.
Is that right?
It's heavy.
Shall I just touch it?
Yeah, it's
There we
heavy,
go.
isn't it?
Yeah, and I do want to touch it, so brilliant. Will, thank you very much, mate. So Liz, let's move on, shall we? I mean, look, I make the joke about Leyton Orient legend, but you are a Charlton legend, obviously, and we know where your heart lies as well. So how good is it to see Charlton in the Championship?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and to see the fans in such great voices, and the last 6 weeks leading up to the playoffs, and then to end it with that victory and the fans celebrating. I went on the pitch after, and I just saw the joy on all the Charlton supporters' faces, and I think it would have meant a little bit more to us than it would have to Orient to get promoted, obviously being a club that's obviously been there and done that. So yeah, it was just good to be a part of the day.
And Brandy, you said at full time as well that the hard work starts here, but let's not go that far ahead so quickly. Let's talk about the day itself. How was it for you?
It was all right, to be honest with you. I don't suffer with the nerves.
Just all right?
Yeah, I don't suffer with the nerves that I have around me with Terry and Greg. So it's like...
What were they like?
Yeah, they were pretty bad as we got further on in the game. So as we started, and I had a little 20-minute spell, didn't they, where they were peppering our goal a bit, and that's when they're at that. You know when it's getting nervous for them because one goes quiet and one talks more. So it's So you sit there and you know, I was quietly confident. The first goal was crucial, and we got it. And I think once we got that, I was quietly confident. I've got to be honest.
Curbs, how did it compare to you back in '98? To obviously no pressure, but the atmosphere, the feel.
Oh, the atmosphere, yeah. I mean, the atmosphere. But our game was nuts, wasn't it? You know, it was end to end, and you know, you just couldn't work out what was going to happen next. But going back to the result and the way we played against Orient, you know, I think most of us were very, very confident once we scored, because that's the pattern actually of the last couple of months. But there were some great blocks. Brownie would have appreciated there were some great blocks there as well. And I know Orient perhaps had more of the possession and looked perhaps a little bit more dangerous. I never felt they were going to score, you know. So yeah, it was. But you know what Kevin said earlier. I just looked at the crowd. You know, no disrespect to Orient, but there was a big gap with no fans. You know, we must have had, 30 or 40,000 there, even more.
We'll come on to that as well.
Yeah, and it was incredible atmosphere. And yeah, I think it was more relief at the end than anything else that it was actually done because we were favourites.
You've talked a few times about your instruction before the game of '98 as well. What did you make of the walkout last week?
Well, we've just been over there and I've seen some of the pictures again, because some of the pictures around the boardroom, you know, when we came out in our final, I mean, we was miserable as sin. They do look quite miserable, actually. And I said to the players, I don't want no one waving to the fans and trying to find where your wife is or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, I don't know. But, you know, I don't want anyone to be distracted from what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan Jones said...
Oh, yeah, look, there's a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know exactly where they are, they're waving at, but why not?
You know what it is though, Scott? It's quite interesting because, no disrespect, I don't think anyone's played in that sort of atmosphere before. And you can't help look around, Brandy, can you, as you're coming out, you know? Can't help it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an element that you want to look around and see your family, because it is a proud moment. Yeah. There's no two ways about it. It is proud for you as an individual, and your family are proud sitting up in the stands. But you're also absolutely as nervous as you can be playing a football game. I've never experienced anything like it. What it does do is once you've experienced it, it does make life a little bit easier when you're in a hostile atmosphere after that. It does work in your favour experience-wise. But for that day, nothing quite catches your attention as walking out there.
Yeah, and Nathan said his daughter was the mascot for the day as well, which is really a proud moment for him. And great day all around for the families, Liz, isn't it?
Yeah, and as Brownie say, when I played there as well, the first thing you do is look for your family, and I'm sure Nathan will appreciate that his daughter's on the pitch and gets to experience the moments with him, and I'm sure he was keen to win the game so they could have those moments after the game as well, which is vitally and more important than everything we speak about is what happens after the game and celebrating with your family and friends after, and I'm sure he would have with his family after.
Yeah, that was good, and we'll come on to that a little bit later on as well, the celebration afterwards. What did you make of the sort of the opening? It was very cagey at first, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think people were settling down, but you know, we never really got going. Godden never really got going, did he? It was difficult for us to fashion anything, and same for Orient. I know Orient, I thought I didn't think Orient looked under pressure as much as that. We was obviously under pressure. Favourites to go up, bigger club, etc., etc. And I think Orient settled down a lot better than us, but without really threatening. I know you said, I just thought they was good in possession, but I didn't really think that they were that dangerous. But then, once again, our main man, Godden, he couldn't really get in the game, and it was a bit flat for him.
Yeah. So TC got fouled in the 30th minute. Did you know who was going to take it?
I think I said on the comms, didn't I? This is Gillespie. And it was a brilliant... I also said he did what he had to do. He got it around the wall and on target. But there are... I think Richie Wellens will be looking at that going, why is the wall that far across? Why isn't he keeping that far the other side? So there's question marks from a Leyton Orient perspective, but Gillespie did exactly what he was tasked with over that free kick, and that was to get it around the wall. I mean, it shouldn't go round that wall, should it? It shouldn't go round it. It's got to go over it, surely.
The wall's lined up, Rob.
Yeah, the charger's 4 yards across when he should be 1, and the wall's about 3 yards too far, as we looked at it there, to the right. You've got to force it up and over that wall to give yourself time as a keeper to shuffle across.
That wall could have gone another 2 players across.
Absolutely, yeah. And he was late on his reaction, the keeper, as well. So great that all happened for us. Brilliant.
Yeah, you're right, and it should be going up and over and across, but I just want to try and put a lot of positivity on Macaulay's strike.
Oh no, we're not taking nothing away.
No, I know, but for me, that almost got quicker and whipped even more as it went on. It was, for me, it was a wonderful strike, and position of the wall and the keeper you can maybe argue with, but I think you can definitely argue with them.
Randy would have said.
Liz,
I'd have controlled it.
Liz, how special was that moment for the 40,000 fans?
Yeah, it was a bit... Time sort of stood still because you're wondering, as he hit it, you think there's no way that's going to go in. And all of a sudden you see the keeper touch it, and then all of a sudden you see the net move, and it sort of happened in slow motion. And then the first thing you do is you look to the Charlton fans, even though I was stuck in the Leyton Orient box. The first thing you do, you look to the right and you see the Charlton fans, and you see the joy, and you see, obviously, as Brownie and Curb said, it weren't sort of an open game, but you sort of knew after we got that goal that it was going to be really difficult for them to score, and it proved.
It's an amazing stat. You mentioned it, Curbs. You've touched on it there, Liz. Before the game, and this is another one, so you can add to it. We had scored first 29 times in all competitions, won 28 and drawn 1, lost none. So it's 29 and 1. It just getting that first goal is so incredible. And then how good was it to see the players all celebrating as well after the game?
Oh yeah, I think he must be on a good bonus, But no, I think the...
Where was your Welsh flag back in '98?
yeah, where's my Welsh flag? But no, it's more relief after a season's work, and everybody at the club knows what it means. It's going into that big league where you've got an opportunity to get into the top one, and we know it's going to be difficult. It's going to be more difficult than Division 1. And some of these players might not be playing. That's a fact of life. But on the day, everybody comes together, and the scenes in the dressing room and etc. Fantastic. And afterwards, because the players come into the fan zone place where we all were, it was just like a party.
Yeah, it was, and we'll come on to that a little bit later on as well. Different, similar celebrations on the pitch and in the dressing room, do you think, to '98? What memories do you have?
I'm going to say different, because there is a structure now to how they celebrate. Like, you can hear a social media guy going 3, 2, 1, and then it's a calculated celebration. We had none of that. It's just you in a dressing room with your champagne, with the medals, with each other. There is no one orchestrating photographs and celebrate. It's just you, and it's. All I remember was Mark Bright had his video camera, he's the only one to have the foresight, because we've got nothing. I've got nothing from our cup final day, absolutely nothing. So it's one of those ones where, for these guys, although it's orchestrated, you've got memories now, and they're there forever. Kurz just brought in a frame today. I don't know who that's for of the day. It's superb. Your mate did it. It's brilliant, and I'm sure once one of them sees it, you're going to get quite a few requests for that frame and the stuff in it, because that is a great memory of the day.
Go on, then, Curbs. Explain what it is. What's in
the frame? Is a programme of the day signed by some of the players, and then it's the goal, and it's celebrations and Nathan with the cup and everything else, just all different pictures.
It's a team picture.
And
yeah, it's very
and
good.
It's good, and I brought him for someone at the club, and the guy that done it is hoping that people see it and want people to
I
have a
think
look
they
at
will. I think
Oh,
they will.
yeah. Okay.
Like, we didn't even have an official photographer, as far as I'm aware. We got nothing as a group, so it's a shame. But that you saying it was it like that?
I think it can be done still. You
okay.
can get old pictures and
Right,
A bit of AI. You have your teeth in there as well.
No, I'd met,
Clock teeth.
no, I'd lost them by then. I'd had them nutted out by
That's
then.
what I mean,
Yeah.
AI
98,
got
it was about
put
94, 95 I had them
Let's
nutted out.
think about the difference. It was all shattered.
Yeah.
We all got back in the dressing room. We was
Yeah.
like that. Like, what has just happened?
And again,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
again,
these lot only played 90 minutes.
and again,
No pens.
Mark Kinsler walked down Wembley Way with the trophy.
With the trophy, yeah.
Because we were going to a studio. You can't do that now.
No, he was walking down Wembley Way, and my wife and kids were walking towards Richard Murray's studio where he was going.
Yeah.
And so my wife and kids had a photo with Kins with the cup. I didn't even have one with the kids and the cup. He had one because he walked from Wembley down Wembley Way with a cup.
Was he man marking it, was he?
Yeah, won't let no one near it.
Yeah. Anyone want to say, by the way, Brighty, very intelligent guy, of course.
And a lovely fella.
Apart from being involved with Crystal Palace, but,
But
we won't hold him.
he's still got the video, right?
Yeah,
He's
he's
still got
saying
the video.
he's saying he hasn't.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because the museum have asked me if anybody's got a copy, because the museum would love a copy of it to have as a feature, and you can't get hold of one. I don't know where mine is.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
You asked a question.
Yeah? Oh, I'm just saying. By the way. Oh, by the way, final one on that one. I'm just saying, move on.
Yeah.
On that frame, there's another good one of involving you, isn't there?
No,
A
this is
different frame.
Separate frame.
Yes.
It's got myself, Bo, Powley, all
And now
holding-
Nathan as well.
And now Nathan, all holding the
with the
cup.
programme in the middle. Both of them look absolutely fantastic. They really do. Okay, let's move on. And let's talk about Nathan then, shall we? I mean, Brownie, it was such an up and down season. I mean, who would have called it in December that we'd be going up? But how much credit does he get for the job he's done?
Yeah, I think he's obviously going to take the lion's share of credit, and quite rightly so. But the staffing structure need a heavy pat on the back, and so do the players, because I think we were 14th in December the 21st or something, and we weren't a million miles off the playoffs, but we were 14th, and we weren't in consistent enough form, is what I'd say.
I think the board as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're backed him.
Yeah,
you know.
and the January window,
Yeah.
it wasn't about what we brought in. We got rid of some pivotal people. We brought in a couple of people, but it was what we kept,
Yeah.
and that did take an extra contract and more money and etc. So there was a commitment from the board and the ownership, without any shadow of a doubt. But yeah, I've said this already, and we tend to repeat ourselves on this one, but 20 clean sheets in the league, 25 or something, doesn't happen by luck. It just doesn't. That is a structure, that is a coaching method, and that is players taking on board everything that's been thrown at them. And we had 5 clean sheets last year. And that's the turnaround for me. It allowed us to pick up so many points by winning 1-0.
And Curbs, when you think about it, he came in last season, he saved us really, and yet we still had our worst finish in 98 years. So to think where we were last year, I mean, my goodness, how many times over the last 3 years have we...
Oh, yeah.
We've had a lot of fun on Charlton TV, but we have covered some games where we're thinking, what are we going to say here post-match?
Yeah. I think the thing is we've got to a situation this season where we're coming in expecting, and seeing the way the team performs, expecting that, as opposed to, what we're going to get today, and, this could be a problem, whatever. We've come in, and I'm with Kevin where he said the last 2 or 3 games at the Valley was like I know no one wants to hear the old days, but it was like the old days. It was even difficult getting into the ground. You know what I mean? The atmosphere, and there was people hanging around the ground, party atmosphere, if you like. And it did remind me of the old days. And, the atmosphere that was generated. I think the one thing that the players will now understand, because we're going into a different situation in the Championship. But what's going to happen is that end's going to be sold out every week, the away end, which is going to make the atmosphere. So they're going to get the same atmosphere every week, and hopefully we can respond to that. The Valley will be full most weeks.
And we know as well that there were some reports linking Nathan to Cardiff City. Those reports have been quashed. Charlton fans, don't worry. It's not going to happen. He is going to start. I mean, he'd be mad to leave Charlton right now. Anyway, but certainly for a club like Cardiff. So that's good news that has been quashed. But back to Wembley then, and let's take a look at what Nathan said to his players pre-match, the night before the game, where they were also shown messages from their families.
Look, this will be the last meeting we do before we get to Wembley. Before we go to Wembley, we'll do a quick one like we do in the changing rooms and stuff. So it's been, look, seriously full-on week in terms of your prep, in terms of everything. So these are big occasions. Like, if you're fortunate enough to have had these before, and some of you will have them again, and so on, these are big occasions. We wanted to mark it in terms of things, but we also want they're really special when you win, like really special. They're things you remember, like for the rest of your life, and then they will not quite define you, but they will shape lots of things that you do. So we wanted to do something that from the past, in terms of what it's like, you know, to win at Wembley, that feeling, getting that thing, and then there's just a little personal thing which we felt was poignant that we can look at.
No matter what happens, you've already made us proud.
Who knew this time last year you'd be walking out at Wembley on Sunday? We're all very proud of you and happy with you too.
Kenny, my £2 baby, love you son, be lucky, so proud of you. My little £2 baby, now you're playing at Wembley. Playoffs. Come on Charlton, up the end, come on boys!
So proud of you, Connor, from that little boy who played out in the garden with his ball all the way to the Wembley pitch. A long way to come. Good luck on Sunday to everyone. Let's get the job done.
Could feel the emotion there, Curves, couldn't you? Very emotional time. What do you make of that?
That was interesting what you did there.
Yeah, I think Pep Guardiola did it actually. Immediately before they went out for the 2009 Champions League final.
This is the night before.
This is the night before. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Pep did it immediately before going out from the dressing room against Manchester United. If you remember the first 10 minutes, United were all over them, or certainly Barcelona. And apparently Pep turned to his staff and said, "What have I done?" But anyway, it's a lovely touch, and Nathan certainly gave it enough time for it to sink in as well. Liz, bit of you that? Imagine that, some members of your family night before.
I don't think my family got anything nice to say about it.
I'm the same. Do you want to do a note, Mrs. Brown? No. I want to wish him well.
Yeah,
Disgusting human.
I can be quite hard. I can be quite harsh on my kids. I don't think I'd want to see a message from them.
Keep him as long as you like.
It gives you. It's the reason you're doing what you're doing, isn't it? And it just confirms that obviously your family are there and your family are supporting you. So I think to some people it will mean a lot. To others it'll be like, let me get out there, get my boots on and get the game going.
Yeah, I think it's personally a nice touch, and the night before a game, so at least they've had a little bit of time to. It's almost getting them really up for it, as if they didn't already need it. Okay, well after that the players visited Wembley, and that's the Saturday before the game, so the day before the game. Brownie, did you visit Wembley before? Can you remember?
I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea.
Curbs?
Is it?
Go on,
Okay.
tell us about the build-up for you and how important the week was as well as the day before.
Well, the first thing was Les Reed. He knew Wembley like the back of his hand and everything else, and he decided on what hotel we was going to in Marlow. Do you remember? No, you can't remember it.
No.
In Marlow.
No.
But there was a wedding on the night before.
No.
Yeah.
So like we walked into it and thinking, oh, this will be nice, you know, and have a nice relax. But there's a wedding and people were all over the shop, and as you say, Brighty had his camera out, and I didn't want to have a row like before. I just had a look around. I just left it a little bit, and then we've come down in the morning, and there was another so that's the night. Then there's another thing going on like when we come down before we get to Wembley. So I turned around to Les. I mean, obviously like you didn't check out what else was going on here, but it was all right. It was not a problem. But then we got in the bus and got to Wembley. Sunderland got in there before us, and we couldn't get in, could we?
This bit I do remember.
Yeah, we couldn't get in, so we were stuck behind their coach with all their fans, like banging on the side and giving it a bit, you know, whatever. So that woke us all up, didn't it, a little bit?
Did you think in any way that's a good sign, it's a bad sign? Does that not bother you?
No, I just thought this part of the day. The only thing that, as I said, the only thing I was concentrating on off the pitch was that we didn't get carried away with the day, because I know, you know, the atmospheres and the stadium and what was at stake. And when we talk about getting in the Premier League and all what that meant, that, you know, it was a lot different, no disrespect, but getting into the Championship, and it was life-changing. Getting in the Premier League is life-changing for me, the players and the club.
Apart from Brownie.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah. Another 1 year contract.
Yeah, he got
Another
1
1
year.
year.
Yeah. But
and you
well, he might have got.
for that.
Hey, listen,
£100 more.
if he ran on one, he might have got let go.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
That's
no, it was totally different. And I was on the day, and I've said this before. I think Sunderland could recover, you know, because there was a big club, etc. We were going to get dismantled if we hadn't won, because I had people circling around players, and I know that if they come in, it was going to be very, very difficult for us to keep them. So that was a big thing. In my view, we had to win it, you know. But you know, I don't. You can't distinguish between. It's just the atmospheres, you know. Like, and I was sitting there as a fan watching the game last week, and you can't help but get involved in it, can you?
Absolutely.
I don't think you can distinguish, because I think I spoke. You know, you think about Johnny Jackson went there the next day. That's a League Two playoff. The pressures are the same for him.
Yeah.
You have to put it in context to that person. For Nathan, for Curbs, the pressure is the same in terms of what you're trying to achieve, which is get up a level with a promotion. And you know, thankfully Johnny did it as well.
Yeah.
You know, Nathan's done it. Curbs was successful. I think we're 4 straight playoff wins, aren't we?
Yeah.
4 from 4, which is an incredible record, really. But I think you know what Curbs felt that day. Only he can tell you. But there is that game itself, whatever level, there is an enormous amount of pressure on everyone. The players, manager, the lot. It's hard to cope with.
Yeah, I remember when I was at Chelsea with the '97 Cup final, Rude just tried to keep it like a normal game, and we didn't visit Wembley. So I think it's good to get the surroundings, but actually we felt pretty good with it, and we were able to get the win. And now after the game, the post-match celebrations and a wonderful team talk from Nathan as well. Let's hear what he had to say.
First and foremost, I just want to thank every one of you. When we first started this season and we spoke to everyone, we had a goal. We knew what we could achieve if everything comes together. We've had some tough times this year. You've had to show some character, you've had to show some resilience, and then we turned into the team that I want us to turn into. And again, we're only 14 months into our journey, into everything. But I said first and foremost when we come in, if we do the basics well, that will give you a foundation to win any game. Then with what we have, the quality in the club, we have been able to score goals almost every game. And yes, we could have been fluent today, but was I proud of that performance today? Every time they were near, there was bodies on the line, and that is how to win promotion. What I said at the beginning was, clean sheets get you promoted. And we've just broken a club record. And you've had to all buy into that. Because there's nothing fancy about a clean sheet. Yeah, 65-70% of possession is all clever and quality. But the basics, and doing the basics, is what's just got us promoted. And you've all had to do that. You've all sacrificed. I asked you, demanded from you, that you keep that you sacrifice parts of your life, and you've all done it. And that's why we finished strong. That's why we win games in 90+ minutes. That's why we keep going. And I'm so proud of this group, and I'm so proud of everyone at the club. Right from top to bottom. We've made sane decisions. There was times when we weren't the team I wanted us to be. And to be fair, I took for you lot. That's what I get paid for. So I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Because you've been humble, you've been hard-working, you've listened, you've been open-minded with so many things. And this is a team. We are Charlton. And I'm proud of that. And you know what Charlton is today? Championship!
There we go, Liz. It's all about clean sheets, all right?
No.
Goals. It's all about goals.
I switched off after you said that.
Boring.
But from a team point of view, he's absolutely spot on, isn't he?
Everything you said was spot on, and there have been times where last 3 years, as you said before, we've sat here and we've watched the displays of defenders not putting their bodies in front of the balls, not closing people down, not being aggressive, not getting close to people, and we've been the opposite this year. And coincidentally, we got promoted in terms of all the high standards that he wants from his team. And yeah, look, I love scoring goals. I love good play, as we spoke about how Leighton Orient played. But if you're not going to win games and not clean clean sheets, it means nothing.
Just a quick one, Curbs. How special was that moment? You're standing there afterwards. Did you give a little speech?
I can't remember.
I don't recall you giving one.
I think it was just like, we just sat down and went, what has just happened?
Yeah, it was like that.
It was like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost job done.
It was just like end to end, and even the penalties, you know, you're sitting there. I think, as I said earlier, the overwhelming fact for me was to get into the Premier League was life-changing for everybody. You know, it's such a big thing, and it is now massive. So, yeah, let's hope that we can progress and get ourselves into a similar position.
Okay, before we finish on Nathan then, do you remember what was said? Let's have a look at one more photo. Do you remember what was said here?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Do you want to divulge?
Yeah, I did say that I was a bit too loyal after winning promotion. And no, I was a little. No, I wasn't.
He just shook his head and gone.
No, I was a little bit too loyal. And but other things were going on at the club. You know, I've often spoke about what happened. You know, with the extra money coming in, a third went on the stadium, a third went on players, and a third was held back for a rainy day. You know, so we was in a totally different position. We were still trying to build the club, as you know. But you know, you can't be too loyal. You know, you've got to make some big decisions. And you know, because you're 2 weeks behind everybody else now, because you've had the playoffs, and the pre-season is going to come quite quickly. But you've got to, you know, I don't know if Nathan's gone away. I don't know if he went away straight away. But you've got to get back on it, because people are doing deals now all the time, and you know, you've got to be in and around it. And you know, I did say to him, and I'm sure he ain't going to be. I don't think he's that way inclined. So yeah, that's all I said. Just congratulated him on well done and fantastic achievement, and don't be too loyal.
Yeah, as harsh as that is, you've got to do what's best for the club. Moving up into the Championship, yeah. and be ruthless for sure. Okay, next up, let's talk about the fans then, shall we? And what a very special day it was for 40,000 addicts. Let's start pre-match, lads. And I'm sure we all encountered a variety of Charlton supporters just on the way to Wembley, and I did as well. I know someone who was actually looking for a camera of some Leyton Orient fans, and he couldn't find any because there were so many Charlton fans. It was just a brilliant atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I came in from Haywards Heath, and I come up every Saturday by train at home games, and there's not a Charlton shirt on the platform I get on, and there was a dozen on Haywards Heath, there was a dozen at Three Bridges, more at Gatwick. So it was one of those days, whatever station you pulled in at, there was a Charlton shirt. When we got on the tube, it was packed. You know, and 40,000. You know, I think it could have been more if the EFL had done the ticketing in a better manner, which is a shame, because I think people did miss out. But it is chaotic. You know, I was working behind the scenes trying to get ex-players sorted out as well, and it is absolutely chaotic. But it was great to see.
Yeah.
You know.
Moving on from the pre-match atmosphere, then outside the stadium, the buzz that continued into the stadium as well, when the club had left a Charlton flag on every supporter's seat. And Liz, it was an absolute sight to behold, wasn't it?
Yeah, for me, it was the last game here against Wickham when everyone was on the pitch.
Yeah.
You sort of stand there and you look back, and I was there for about 10 minutes just looking at the fans and the atmosphere and the joy that the manager and the players have brought to these fans' lives. And then you look at Wembley, and it continued, and the same buzz was there from the Wickham game was brought to Wembley. And Leyton Orient were in good numbers, but they were, for a while we took over in terms of the volume of the fans and the noise and the song, and we almost took over Wembley. After we scored that goal, it was like a home game.
Yeah. Tell us, I mean, I know you're obviously corporate in the Leyton Orient side of that time, so that box was particularly quiet. Did you feel the noise when the goal went in?
Yeah, it was. It sends shivers down your spine, because for one, you know how big of a goal it is because of the way we play. And it's almost like the fans understood as well. And like, we've scored a goal, actually we've won this game. And it felt like that, because they continued. Obviously this is the goal now, but they continued like that for the whole of the game after. There was a real appreciation that we weren't going to concede a goal and that we were going to win the game. And as I said, I went on the pitch after the game, and it was like this for about 40 minutes after the kickoff. And they've gone through some hard times, these fans. You can see the joy in his face, crying there, I think that was Brownie. Yeah, you could see, it's gone through some hard times and we deserve that day.
Yeah. I was trying to be as professional as possible, working on the radio, talk sport and that, but as the goal went in and I'm talking, I'm kind of filming as well at the same time. Too much social media, honestly. But yeah, it was just, you feel like you couldn't miss out on it. No, not Brown.
Especially at the end, when we got the trophy and that.
One of my friends with me, I don't know if you saw, he was shaking all the players' hands as they were walking past. Like,
is that right, yeah?
Embarrassing me, yeah. Recording himself while he's shaking all the players' hands. I said, "You are not coming anywhere with me again."
Who knows? To get that opportunity again. So he might take that.
Be assistant manager next
yeah.
year.
Look, Curbs, we've slightly touched on it, but there were 40,000 people there. And I know there's a picture you want to show, isn't there? And tell us about it. Let's have a look.
Yeah, because I just thought it was. I'm not being disrespectful. Just shows the difference between the two clubs, and you know, and the ambition next season. I think, no disrespect, but if Orient would have done it on the day, I don't see him going anywhere else, you know. But we can go somewhere else, and that was the big difference. And I just thought it's a shame. I know you've got to have segregation and etc., but we could have sold a lot more tickets.
It could have
You
been.
know,
It could have been Wickham Orient because they couldn't even sell out their own home side.
Yeah.
You know, and I said in the pre-show we did, building up to that game, we were the right choice in terms of if the Championship wanted to team up with the stadium and the home fans we've got.
Live in East London, and you know, I got on the tube and expecting lots.
Did you get a car?
I got the tube all the way.
They didn't give you a car?
No. I got the tube.
Why didn't you get a car?
So
Did you have a car?
I gave it to my kids.
Yeah,
no,
I had a car.
No, I got the tube, and you know, from Faden to Stratford, and then once I got there, it was just all Charlton fans.
Yeah.
On the train, on the tube, all the way to Wembley, just Charlton everywhere.
Yeah, I was on the train from Orpington, and it was absolutely ram out from the moment I got on that train. It was fantastic, and it's such a shame because it could have been more, and I still feel it should have been more as well. Let's have a look at this video as well from Nathan at the Box Park. Picked up some traction online. I think the message was pretty clear, wasn't it? Of course, there were a few of us who were part of that celebrations too.
These guys, why we need them next season from August, why they should book their season tickets now. It's going to be a journey, right?
Well, if you don't book your season tickets now, you're idiots. After just being part of 44,000 in the playoff final at Wembley, there is no better time to be a Charlton fan. There is no better time to be a Charlton fan.
Absolutely fantastic.
Me doing that. The boys will have gone, wouldn't they?
Well, you might have done.
I'd have got some stick.
Back in the day.
I would have got some stick.
It shows how times have evolved. But these are all great memories, though, aren't they? I tell you, that must have been right at the end because that was absolutely rammed out.
Yeah.
Some old Charlton shirts there, isn't there?
I didn't see any Lisbies.
Did you not?
No.
They all must have left early.
They
jumped in my car.
Left early. Oh, Brainy there, look, telling me how much the set pieces have come on. I agreed.
Looking good there, Scotty.
I don't know who the other guy was with Brown.
Absolute mess of a human.
I mean,
he tries.
What else do we want to say about, before we move on, about this kind of the celebrations? And for me, with two things. One, the night time was quite funny actually because we got back to London Bridge, didn't we?
Yeah.
And the whole of the monitors there, every single train was cancelled apart from one which said Orpington. I'm like, oh no, I've got to invite him home, haven't I? I've got to take him home. So brought him home. We cracked open a bottle of red as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
You can't drink that stuff.
Oh, I can now.
I tell you what,
I'm evolving, honestly.
He was doing all right.
Evolving into this, this.
You know why he drank it?
monster.
Because it was yours.
Yeah, it's free. It was free. It was free. And I had a look and I thought, that looks like a good bottle.
One of my dogs loved you as well, didn't it?
I'm
Manchaz?
actually all dogs.
Yeah.
All dogs. I'm a dog whisperer.
So goodness knows what time we actually went to bed, because I've got no idea.
I ended up with Jason Morgan MBE.
Yes.
In an Indian in the local village.
And that was good, wasn't it?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
So what? The only thing I just want to say is, I thought the celebrations in the evening. Obviously, it was all about the game, but the evening time for me showed how Charlton can be, how we once were, but how we can be. Fans, players, coaching staff, manager, Charlton TV, and also the owners were all together as one, and the atmosphere was just something special. Of course, it's going to be after a playoff final, but I think with the Wycombe game at home, and this game as well, I think has shown the potential of where we can be. So fingers crossed going forward. It was a truly memorable night, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, no one else is adding to that one, so let's move on.
But from Liz, haven't we?
No, I wasn't there, was I? What can I say? It was
just went home, didn't
It
you?
was an exhausting day for me. As much as we had the laughs and joke leading up to it, it was a difficult day for me. So
You got a little bit, didn't you? Lost your temper a little bit.
did I?
Yeah, you definitely
What,
did.
with the jokes
On
and
one of the
that?
WhatsApp groups, I thought, no, he's lost it. He's lost it. Bless his heart. One blatant Orient joke too many.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean this on a genuine basis. I could feel and see that you were really uncomfortable with both your clubs.
Yeah, as Brownie just mentioned.
Yeah.
It got,
No, but in a good way, because you care about both clubs.
Of course it is. Like my loyalty doesn't lie depending on who I work for. Obviously, Charlton is the reason I became a professional footballer and the foundation of what I built. And Orient helped me at a time where I probably my career would have ended. And I'm not gonna all of a sudden not care no more because they're both in the final. So obviously, I feel Charlton in a better position to go up and do well. So I'm so thankful that it ended the way it did. And look, Orient will always be in my heart. And I wasn't upset, Brownie. I was just disappointed.
It was a great day for you media-wise, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh well,
Voices
to be
everywhere,
fair,
there was.
listen. First of all, very well said, very well spoken. But second of all, you did milk it. And do you know what? Why not? Why not?
dear.
Why not? That Wembley day. Do you remember Wednesday?
Oh,
We're
dear.
going to Dubai, babe. 17
Invoices. Put another one in. Put another one in. I've just worked for the EFL as well.
Okay, look, it was a fantastic day, and we'll live on that for many years to come. Got to look forward. But actually, first of all, we're going to hear from Ed Warwick, a board member who spoke to Charlotte Richardson a little bit earlier.
Ed, welcome to Charlton TV. A pleasure to have you on the show as we look back at what was such a special day at Wembley Stadium. Talk us through what it meant to you.
Well, it was absolutely brilliant. And I think, you go into a football club, and I think it's well documented what life was like when we came in, and it was a little bit difficult, but all everybody in any football club wants is for it to be successful. And the way that I've always thought about it is I've always wanted people to leave the Valley happy. And now a lot of people left Wembley happy.
Yeah.
And that's progress, and that's why we're here.
It's been such significant progress. And you mentioned about people leaving the Valley happy, leaving Wembley happy. In order for that to happen, it requires a lot of hard work from people behind the scenes. And just give us a glimpse really into what the victory meant to the staff that work here week in, week out, and at Sparrows Lane, of course, as well.
Yeah, look, it means a lot to absolutely everybody connected with Charlton. That's our supporters, that's our partners, it's our stakeholders, it's our ownership, it's our staff. And actually, everybody has worked really, really hard. And I think that last month where we really began to accelerate, not just on the pitch, but actually we could see it off the pitch in terms of people turning up, people enjoying themselves, a really, really special night against Wycombe, but also some great Saturdays too. And one of the things that I was so pleased about was the number of people that came to the Burton match. And that just sort of showed that everybody was beginning to engage, everyone was beginning to feel happy again, and we began to hear comments like, we've got Charlton back. Yeah. I think we've still got a lot of work to do, but that point about everybody playing their part is organisations only work when everybody's really engaged with it. And every single member of staff, whether they sort of are performing a really obvious direct role, or whether actually it's a little bit more nuanced, or whether you're working for one of our contractors or something like that, every single person's played their part. And it's brilliant to see it actually coming to some sort of fruition.
It's interesting you make that point there about the fans turning up at Burton Albion as well, because all of those fine details were so important. Getting that win at Burton to enable us to have the second leg here at home at the Valley, and the way that you say there that the crowds were building, especially from the turn of the year. Let's talk about our supporters really, because I know Nathan has heralded them, but from a board perspective as well, they have just been such a valuable asset to us.
Oh, they've been wonderful. And it was the home game against Burton, which was the last one of the season, where in a way, not a huge amount was riding on it, but then we began to see that actually this wasn't just people coming up for important matches. This was people really re-engaging with the club. And I think there were two things that really stood out for me. It was the Charlton support when we played Wycombe on Easter Monday and won 4-0. I mean, I could see the away end. It looked absolutely brilliant. And then the second was that very, very special home leg against Wycombe, where what we wanted was for the players to hear it in the dressing room. And there's nothing quite like a full Valley. I've seen it in the from an away supporter's perspective before, and it's actually quite spectacular because you can't see the smaller stand, you can only see the big ones. And I've always thought, goodness, if this place was packed, it would be pretty terrifying. And then it was, and you could feel the ground in the West Stand kind of moving up and down, and then when Matty Godden scored, there was just this huge release. And all of the work that had been done by so many people, the players, the coaching staff, the operational staff at the Valley, the ticketing staff, the marketing guys, so many people have done so much. And it all played their part to build what was a special night. And then it went on to get even better. And it was a brilliant time to be part of it.
And the victory, of course, launches us back into the championship. And I suppose from the club's point of view, wanting it to be a launch pad for the future, so many sort of exciting pieces of news have already broken. But I just wanted to mention to you something. On the Tuesday after we got promoted, I was just walking down my road and I saw sort of an older man walking his dog with what looked to be his granddaughter. And she was waving her Charlton Athletic flag. And I thought just in that image alone there is the sort of legacy that we want in the local areas, but of course we know we've got a huge international fan base as well. But it feels like it's been a really inspirational moment, that victory, and seeing Greg lift that trophy aloft.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think, these inspirational moments, we now have some new images that we can put alongside, Sasa Ilic and Clive Mendonca and the 2019 guys. We now got some really special moments. We've got Greg lifting the trophy. We've got Macaulay with his arms outstretched after scoring the free kick. We've got this wonderful shot of the Valley with the covered end holding up the placards and the fireworks in front of the East Stand. It just looks fantastic, and these are new things that we can put in our history. And ultimately, to progress, we want more of those moments. I think it's wonderful that it's starting to re-engage with people, that there are Charlton flags going around, and we want to build on that, because to have that connection and have that support and really make sure that we're knitted with everybody in South East London and Kent and perhaps some sort of slightly wider beyond places as well, and all of those supporters that live overseas, that this is a really big club. Yeah. And we are now starting, I think, to sort of turn it around in the right way.
A big club with so much loyalty at its core. Understandably, brands want to be a part of that. And I saw the news recently about Reebok coming on board. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's tremendously exciting. I think this is going to be Reebok's first re-entry into football in the UK for quite some time. We've got some really interesting things ahead of us as part of that partnership, not just in terms of the replica shirt, but also in terms of the leisure wear. And I think one of the other things that we're really looking forward to is we're going to have a retail presence in Bluewater over the summer. Nice. So we're going to be sort of giving more opportunity for people to engage. Our club shop, I think, is wonderful, but it's a little bit out of the way, and you'd only ever go there on a match day. I think it would be brilliant, and we've been working really, really hard with Bluewater to make it happen, that we can have somewhere in a place where many, many Charlton fans are. I think we're just going to be a little bit further along from some of the other club shops, but we're going to be there too. This is what building partnerships is all about. This is what a growing club is all about, and there'll also be an opportunity for people to buy their season tickets there as well. So, so we're trying as hard as we can to get ourselves embedded into the local area and provide our wonderful supporters with better services wherever that may be.
I need no additional excuse to go and visit Bluewater, but I've got one now. And I love that. And I love how these things have threaded together. One thing that I've really loved this season as well is is seeing our fan zone evolve. Have there been any learnings from how that's been embedded in the season that we're going to take on into the next campaign?
Oh yeah, I mean it was miles too small, which is why we had to double in size the fan zone in March, and then we had to basically double it in size again, ready for the playoffs. We've learned quite a lot about what works and what doesn't. We're working very, very hard with our partners to see if we can supply some more beer lines, some more tills, some more food. What will it look like in the winter? Can we have a bit of an upgrade there? It was very much a pilot when we started it at first in the summer. And we're really aware as well that the area immediately around the valley, sort of, it's kind of sad actually. It doesn't have as many places to drink as it used to. So again, how can we provide people with a match day experience and a service? People might not want to go and drink somewhere else where they might have to leave their drinks at 2:00 so they can get here on time. People may well want to do that with us at the Valley, but not actually in the stadium. The fan zone's a great opportunity to do that, and we've got a number of other things that we're looking at too.
Well, building upon that point then, I think the off-season is a complete myth, isn't it? It's sort of the most busy point for you and colleagues at the football club. So will there be sort of any changes, any work going on here at the Valley during the summer? Yeah,
the thing that I'm most pleased about is, and it's pretty obvious to all of our supporters, was that the floodlights, they were fully compliant, but they definitely looked as if they were a little bit dim.
Yeah.
And we've very sort of excited that we're going to be installing sort of some new lights as well. So, as we reach dizzy new heights, we'll be blinded by the lights.
And are there any other things that we're focusing on just to again make sure that we really are championship ready?
Oh yeah, I mean we want to sort of have a look at the whole valley and say, is this the home that we're all proud of? Does it need to be given a lick of paint? Where can we make it look smarter? Where are other clubs doing some really good things? Can we do things with our digitisation? Can we also have a look at what we might do with the kiosks? Can we upgrade this? Upgrading a stadium takes a really long time. Everybody knows that sort of doing really major projects in the valley does mean that we need to look at sort of our long-term arrangements with our landlord. But right now, there's definitely things that we can do, and we're really looking forward to sharing them over the course of the next season.
And Ed, I know amongst the various roles you serve at the football club, you're also part of the board, and supporters will want me to ask, what are the board's ambitions, moods and aims for the future, really?
Yeah, well, look, I think in March, we weren't really sort of sure what division we'd be in. And actually the percentage likelihood of being in a higher division just increased virtually with every game. Nobody wants to go back to League One. I think everybody's worked incredibly hard to make sure that we're not in League One, and we always want to continuously improve, and we always want to make sure that Charlton is the very best it can be. Everybody's seen how far Charlton can go, and our aim is to make sure that we can get there.
Nathan says about the players being the best versions of themselves. You've mentioned it there about the club being the very best version of itself as well. What role can supporters play in helping us be the very best version of ourselves?
Well, I think anybody that was at some of the later games in last season saw everybody in the club being the best version of themselves, and I think our supporters were no exception to that, and they were certainly the best version of themselves all throughout both legs against Wycombe and certainly at Wembley. It was a wonderful day out.
It certainly was. Ed, thank you so much for your time. I know you're incredibly busy, but really appreciate it.
A real pleasure. Thank you.
And delighted to say Charlotte is joined us now. Wrong substitution in my opinion.
I've got people up from corners yet. This is getting done at the near post all day long.
Yeah. She's a tall girl at the far post.
Absolutely.
I mean, really interesting chat. I mean, just very briefly, things to pick up on there.
I think really exciting news about us having a presence at Bluewater. Again, it was one of those moments of the season you look back on, and that viral moment with the interview with Nathan with the Costa coffee, and then here we go, we've got a retail space in Bluewater. I think that's really, really exciting. And I suppose just that reflection that we all had that amazing day on Sunday, but it's a starting point now. We're sort of back at the level we know we should be, but you don't have a divine right, do you? But we're there now, and it really is just about pushing on. So I really enjoyed the chat with Ed, and I just think it's going to be such a busy summer.
It's almost like, we've reset now. We're back at zero. We've been in the minus up until now, haven't we? I mean, look, I'm going to ask you the question, so you can be the pundit here as well. But tell us about your experience as well, because you pretty much did everything. You saw fans in Wembley Way. You were in the dressing room. You spoke to Nathan after the game as well, and the box part was pretty special. How was the day for you?
It was so special. I think I woke up at 5 a.m. It felt like Christmas Day. Was up on my way at 7 a.m. on the train thinking, I'll have like a nice quiet journey up, get my head in the right frame of mind. But it was full of Charlton supporters, and that felt quite special, walking down Wembley Way and seeing families, groups of friends, some people coming up and just wanting to chat, and that buzz was electrifying. And then I had a bit of breakfast with you, didn't I, Brownie? We thought we'd better fuel up now because... how did you rate the buffet?
It was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
What did he eat?
It was a big bacon chop there was.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, at Wembley, yes.
It's good, no?
Oh, that was nice.
In the press box. But also...
It was a bacon chop, well described.
Yeah, with eggs and tomatoes, a couple of pastries, a bit of coffee, because I thought, better get the fuel on board now, because you just don't know how the day's going to unfold. But it was really special, soaking in the atmosphere, seeing the players for the first time, and just the energy and focus and steeliness around them. Felt really calm all day. Felt really calm, which I didn't quite understand. Just had such a faith and belief in the boys. And like Brownie said earlier on in the show, getting that first goal felt so important. And the fact that when we'd taken the lead, pretty much all season we hadn't dropped points. So I just felt really comfortable. Yeah. Didn't really like the extra time. Those like 11 minutes felt like an eternity. And then afterwards celebrating with everyone in Box Park, and as you mentioned, that environment of just friends, family, players all being together and all feeling like one was really special, because it hasn't been easy. I've worked at this football club for 4 years, and sometimes sat where you are and with Curbs and Brownie, we've had to sit here through some really, really tough times, and it was just lovely to have a day that I will remember for the rest of my life, for sure.
Yeah, I think we all will, it's fair to say. Now, I understand you've got a few fan stories to talk us through as well.
So, of course, this is the football club, isn't it? We've reflected on the day itself, and it was just incredible to go to Box Park and shout, really, because you couldn't even hear who was next to you. I met one supporter who travelled 24 hours from Indonesia to be there at the game, and I thought you guys might like this clip from Douglas, who pedalled his way to Wembley.
Cycling from France to the United Kingdom for the playoff final, the mighty Charlton Athletic. This is the road to Wembley.
And what a road that is. Yeah, and Douglas again is a supporter who's reached out and wanted me to say thank you to you guys, because listening and following on Charlton TV, we forget sometimes like how that can be people's connection from afar. So he was not going to miss out on that. And I wanted to share with you as well this story of young season ticket holder Tommy, who comes and supports the boys along with his three brothers. And on the Saturday, he was rushed to hospital to St Thomas's and was advised that he would require urgent surgery. And after a lot of conversation and consideration with his doctors, his parents, after a fair bit of pleading as well, Tommy was given dispensation to get down to Wembley, and you can see him in shot there with his family. The surgery is going to follow. I'm not sure whether it's happened or not, but of course Tommy and his family, who, if you're listening now, we send you all the best wishes and healing, and just special, isn't it? Yeah. What that football club can do.
I had a family friend of his tell me on Instagram, and we were sort of been back and forth in the last 2 days, and I said try and contact the club, even gave him my email address to see if we could get it on. To see that you've done that is amazing. And he was saying that he sort of went to the doctors, but I can't miss my team playing at Wembley. It was almost like the priority's not quite there, but for him that was more important.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, hopefully maybe at some point next season we'll be able to welcome him when he's fully fit. And just a really inspirational story there. Next up, we have Ian Richer. Now, Ian's been an addict for 42 years. He attended most games with his brother. It's a family affair, long in the bloodline, and we're going to see a picture now of him taking his 5-year-old son, George, to his first ever game. And George, I suspect you're going to be hooked for life with the foam finger. It's iconic, and I mean, it's not bad for your first game, is it?
Not the worst start, is it?
They don't all have atmospheres like that. Just to want to let you know.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
and
brilliant.
On the subject of it being, in the bloodline and families who've supported Charlton Athletic for decades, we've got a picture here of the Harris family, and Grandad in the picture can recall being in Woolwich Town Hall when it was announced that Charlton could go back to the Valley. He's been at all 4 finals. I think his children have been to 3 of them, and then of course the whole family there for the most recent. And I just thought that was such a lovely photo that encapsulates the generations who support our wonderful football club. And I don't know if that photo was taken before or after, but I just wanted to make that point as well, because everyone was really smiling and uplifted even before the whistle went, and I think that's what made it really special as well.
Just that shirt was when I was wearing when I was here, early 90s, so it's a special shirt.
How good was that to see that retro shirt? I think it sold out so quickly, and I imagine probably those involved with the Valley Superstore have got more of that up their sleeve for next season. And in the last episode of Charlton TV, the preview show, of course, it didn't quite make it to the final cut, but I had a go trying on the drums, and we have a clip here of a fellow supporter doing exactly the same. Ryan Clark there doing a far better job than me, but I think there were many of us who went home, whether they went to bed before midnight or not, just humming that song. It's been the soundtrack of our season, so I love that clip there. We have now got an image of Harvey Waters and his gang there of supporters, and that is it. Harvey confessed to shedding a tear or two when the full-time whistle went, and Harvey, I don't think you're the only one. But what I loved about that image, guys, was just that sea of red, and what a part that played, I think, in helping the boys sort of ride out those toughest storms in the game when Leyton Orient were, really pushing for that equaliser. It didn't come, and I think it's in part because of people like that.
That's what you're talking about, Curbs, isn't it? That could have been around even further.
Yeah, absolutely. I just felt that on the day, the fans, people have been talking about the Burton game, then the playoffs. There was just a different feeling completely leading up to the playoff final, and then obviously the final. So yeah, and as we said, the championship next year, this place should be rocking, because I'm convinced the away end will be sold out most weeks, and Charlton fans will have to get their tickets early to get into the ground.
And I think it's going to serve such an important part of how next season goes, is again building upon making this a fortress and a really difficult place for some very well-equipped football clubs to hate coming to the Valley, but us loving playing here and it being a place for more memories. One final image. This is Matt Francis. Has gone to many finals before. He went with his dad to the 1998 final, missed 2019, but came along with his daughter, which he said made the victory even better. And just some lovely photos there, because again, those are just the moments you follow your football club here, there and everywhere, and it is such a gift to be able to go to Wembley, and the fact that we've gone 4 times and won. Some clubs love playing at Wembley. I don't know if I heard someone saying that on TalkSport recently, actually. Some clubs are fit for Wembley, and it just so proves that I think it's a good fit for us as well.
Yeah, it certainly has worked out a good fit. What I love about that is that's like the next generation. He was with his dad in 98, he's now with his daughter as well, and hopefully she'll do the same.
And all football clubs need that, right? We see so much streamed on TV, and you just can't beat the atmosphere being beside your loved ones. And my family and friends came down, and as it just so happened, I was sat in the media box and my dad was aligned next to me, so it was lovely. When that full-time whistle went, I was able to give Pops a hug and then make my way down to do my work. So it's funny how those things work out.
Brilliant. Charlotte, thank you very much. Great fun, that. Really interesting as well, and some wonderful stories there. And as ever, it's been great working with you. Okay, we're now going to bring back Liz in. Sorry about that, Charlotte, apologies. But in the meantime, we'll watch the post-match interview that you did with Lloyd Jones, Kane Ramsey, and from Wembley.
Records broken for the number of clean sheets this season. So boys, it's quite right that we keep 3 in a row to seal a place in the Championship. How are you feeling right now?
Me? I feel unbelievable. We won our most fluent today, but I don't care. To keep 3 clean sheets in a playoff campaign is unbelievable, and yeah, I'm just absolutely buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing.
Kane, another big block. We've been used to seeing them in the playoffs, but that is what is required. Those fine margins are so important.
Before I go to bed at night, that's the one thing I think I need to block. Whatever comes at me, I will block it. I'm going to block it.
He never tucks in when I tell him, though.
Sorry.
The way that the box was defended through long periods was so impressive. Talk to me about that discipline and concentration when you're in front of like 70,000 people.
Yeah, we just, like when we've gone ahead this season, it's very, very rarely we've dropped points. I don't even think we've lost or when we've gone ahead. So we backed ourselves through it. We didn't let the occasion get to us, and just to not concede again. It just feels brilliant.
And part of the defenders' union. How about a centre back stepping up and scoring a free kick like that? Can you remember where you were positioned when you saw it hit the back of the net?
I was in the middle of the box. I said to him, "What are you doing? You crossing or shooting?" He was like, "I'm gonna have to go for it. I'm gonna go for it." But credit to Maka. He's been superb the whole season. He's been credit to Maka and Lloydie. It's a brilliant back three, and I love to play with them.
And Lloyd, I think people knew going into the playoffs that you needed a lot of rest, you needed a lot of recovery. I don't think people quite realised how significant the injury was that you were carrying in. Your mind, your heart has overruled your body to be part of this.
Well, I can thank everyone for that, but there's one man there.
Come on.
One man 100%. Who helped me through everything. I've had a couple knocks this season, and he's been there. He's done everything for me, staying at the training ground till 8, 9 o'clock at night, coming into London with me. He's just the best. He's just brilliant at his job.
Adam, when we talk about a team effort, that is what we mean, isn't it? It's not just those players out there on the field of play, but you've looked after a lot of wounded soldiers over this season, and I know you're a Charlton Athletic supporter through and through. We've done it again.
I know, I can't believe it. Since 18-19, obviously back down in League One, but it's been a fantastic season this season, and these boys have really dug deep.
Everyone has.
Also stopped me from having surgery. Also me too. No, I'm joking.
Lee was in trouble.
I appreciate it.
And look, we have got a night of celebrations, probably a couple of days, but championship football next season.
Let's
Come
go!
Brilliant. Love that. Absolutely love that. Adam, well done. But I just quick mention on Lloyd and Kane as well, actually, because the Lloyd's been superb. Kane, for me, the blocks that he made in the semi-final second leg, we wouldn't have been in the final without them, because the first goal there was going to be absolutely crucial. And I know he started off really well as well at Wembley as well. So listen, well done both of you. But it is a team game, of course. Liz, team game, you back in? You all right?
Yep, so I'm back in.
Yeah?
She didn't do too well, so I'm here. That's ruthless.
Oh, Charlotte's just over here. You haven't got Charlotte.
Can we sub the sub?
Again.
You must have been subbed off as a sub.
No,
you must have done.
Why must I?
I just got a feeling you have. I think you're hiding it. Anyway, come on.
Okay, look, should we have a bit of fun? A quiz?
It's hard to do with me.
Well, that'd be tough for these.
Okay, listen, we're going to do an end of season quiz. Please feel free to play along if you want as well. I will tell the answers, and it's multiple choice, so even if you don't know, just have a guess. A point for the correct answer, but you can only get points on your question.
Wait, let me just get used. I'm not sure.
Well, it's A, B or C, so you can say I don't know if you want.
Okay,
so,
okay.
that's what multiple choice is.
Are we going to get results after?
I'll tell you the results. There's only 3 questions each. Although this could last an hour if I haven't to explain it. Okay. So, first question, Brown Dog, we'll start with you. And your favourite, Matty Godden.
He is my favourite. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Club's top scorer this season, but how many goals did he finish with in all competitions? Do you need an A, B or C, or do you know that immediately?
Oh no, I need an ABC.
Okay, so
20
A,
something.
18,
Oh,
B, 21, or C, 22?
Well, that's a bit tight, isn't it? 21 and 22 together.
I know.
C, go for the top one.
So you are going for C. You are correct.
Why didn't I get asked that question?
Did you know it?
Of course I knew it, but I feel like I should have been asked that question.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get
Pick you in already.
the most headers now.
Curbs, you're next. We had a club record clean sheets in all competitions this season, but how many did we keep? Was it A, 23, B, 26, or C, 27?
Oh, that's tight. That was 3, isn't it?
I would.
23, 26, or 27?
All competitions?
All competitions.
Okay. All competitions. 23.
It's higher.
It is higher.
Is it?
It is higher.
See, that's why I should have been asked that.
26.
It is 26, but you don't get a point for that. I told you.
Bonus point for the 3 of us?
No bonus point.
What's
no
the
bonus
game?
point.
What's the silly game?
Liz, back to after Matty Godden, who was our top scorer in all competitions?
ABC.
Was it A, Miles, B, TC, or C, Luke Berry?
Oh, it's tough because those three are tight.
Yeah.
He's trying to put pressure on you.
I don't know why I'm thinking Miles. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I'm going to go Miles.
Going to go Miles? Correct.
I thought, yeah.
It is Miles.
How many, Scott?
Doesn't say.
The fact that you threw him in there.
I reckon 8 sounds
Big,
about right.
Yeah, it's a big diff.
Yeah.
He was out for a long time as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, but normally the guy that
That's a bit
scored
of a
the
trick
second amount of
question,
goals is
isn't
up
Yeah.
at 12, 13 in and around.
That's a bit of a trick
Yeah.
question.
I
The
don't
fact
know
that
if that's the case.
the fact that he threw him in there, I thought, why would he throw him in there? Does that make sense?
It's very good thinking. Do you want to just keep on?
Sorry,
Like,
sorry,
well done.
no,
You got one right. Let me know when you're ready to move on.
We're ready.
Okay,
Sorry,
we're ready to move on. Okay, question 2, Brown Dog. Which player started the most league games for the club this season?
It's 1 or 2.
Go on, who's your 2?
Gillespie and Coventry would be my 2.
Okay, they're both in there. A, Connor, B, Macaulay, or C, Tyrese?
Oh, it's not Tyrese. He missed a massive chunk. Oh, that's tough, isn't it, at those 2?
You're just going to guess.
No, Gillespie, did he not miss it? I'm going to go Coventry out the 2.
You're right. Connor. It's not good. It's not good. Brownie's winning.
Successful hated.
Curbs. Which player had the most substitute appearances?
Brownie.
You should get a point for that. Don't even ask it.
1 point for Curbs for
How
that
many
answer.
did I make?
Okay,
224.
so actually you were all level after that.
Yeah,
Now
good,
Curbs
then.
has got that. That's a good
I
answer.
won that one already.
For Charlton in the league this season. Okay, so was it A, Karoy, B, Matty, or C, TC?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going Karoy.
Yeah, that's got to be right.
It is correct.
That was
Karoy.
an easy one, I thought.
Yeah.
Karoy.
The others,
Yeah, I
I
felt
thought Chucks might have been in there.
TCP started a lot more games, didn't he?
I mean, not been available for. I mean,
Yeah,
move on.
We'll move on. Liz, you need this to get
yeah,
level to the other 2.
Yeah.
Who was Charlton's most booked player this season?
That's tough.
A, Luke Berry, B, Lloyd Jones, C, Connor Coventry.
I'm going Luke.
Yeah, I think it's Luke.
Are you sure?
I'm going Luke. Don't try and persuade me. Like I'm going Luke. Yeah.
You've got it.
It's Connor Coventry.
Is it really?
It is.
No way.
It is.
How did he get?
Wait. Well, I'm not going to go
Training
through all
doesn't
that.
count, does it?
Sorry?
Are you serious?
I thought
Yeah.
you were going to reverse that back to Bury. No, it's Coventry.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
All right.
Yeah. So it's 2-2-1 at the moment. Final question for each.
I'll get an easy one this time though.
Hold on.
And
How's
they'll
it 2-2-1?
Well, you've got 2, he's got 2, and I've got 1.
You got the first one wrong.
No,
Oh, you did?
but
No,
you
you
come
got
out
the
with a
first
brilliant answer.
Oh, he's giving
You.
him.
Oh, you give him a bonus
I've
point.
given him a bonus
Sir
point
Alan
for that.
Coventry gets a bonus point.
Yeah. Here we go. So have your name on the
Criminal.
stadium.
Criminal.
What's the prize?
We've got a game of golf in it now.
I know we have.
Can we
I
move
know.
on?
Yeah, we have.
Brownie.
We'll get there.
Brownie. Charlton had 2 sendings off in the league this season. Which of these players weren't sent off in the league? Do you understand the question?
Yeah, carry on.
So was it A, Chucks, B, Karoy, C, Greg?
That weren't sent off in the league?
That weren't sent off in the league.
Right, so Chuck was sent off in the league. Or was he?
He was.
Yeah, he was. And what was the other 2, sorry, Scotty?
The other 2, so it was Chucks, Karoy and Greg.
Greg Doherty?
Doherty.
He got sent off at Huddersfield, so I'm going Karoy.
Correct.
Yeah, I knew it.
3 out of 3.
It's a bit unfair because I have commentated
You
on
have commentated on them all.
Yeah,
You
it's a
have
little
commentated.
unfair.
Curbs to take this to a tiebreaker.
Go on. And we will.
Who scored the first goal of the season for Charlton? Oh. Was it A, Luke Berry, B, Lloyd Jones, or C, Matty Godden?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it?
You can't lose, he'll give you a bonus point.
Sorry.
I'm not going to give a bonus point for this.
He sneezed. Give him a point.
Go sneeze.
I'm going to go. I'm not going to go for the obvious. Lloyd.
It's correct.
You know, I actually
Correct.
thought he threw that in there for
Set
a reason
play.
as well. Yeah, why would he throw him in there?
Yeah, because you thought it'd be going, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So Liz, for some reason this says Liz only. This is worth 2 points.
Come on in, Bradley.
Who scored Charlton's last league goal of the season, not including the playoffs? Matty Godden, Alex Mitchell, Macaulay Gillespie.
Wait, sorry. Could you answer that question again?
Who scored last at Burton, basically?
Yeah.
What was the? Sorry, what was the?
So
candidates?
it is
Was there that?
Matty, Alex Mitchell, Macaulay Gillespie.
It was a header.
I'm gonna go Gillespie. I ain't got a clue. I'm just guessing. I wasn't.
Who you gone for? Who you gone for?
Gillespie.
Gillespie?
Yeah.
He's wrong.
Yeah. No. I don't want to
Alex
listen.
Mitchell.
I don't want to listen.
He
could
I
could say something
Don't
else.
get angry. This
But
is
then
you're
I'll
going
be
down a
confident. I don't
WhatsApp
want to
group
do that.
again.
I want to be my own
You're
person.
doing the WhatsApp group again.
No, the problem was he wasn't at the game. He was at Orient.
He's absolutely right.
So if I just add this up, and I did get an O-level in maths, Curbs is the winner. Well done, Curbs.
So I get a new 3-year contract.
Showing my age there, saying I did O-levels. You did GCSEs, didn't you?
Yeah, I was the year after.
Yeah, I was the last year of O-levels. Well done. All right, listen, let's finish this off now. Quickly look forward to next season then, shall we? Brownie, you said on commentary that it starts here and now. How excited are you for next season?
Yeah, very excited. And I think you've only got to look at what's gone up out of our league and what's come down. There's 6 clubs there that are going to add 30,000 pluses. Birmingham have got a great following. You've got Ipswich coming down. We've always got a good, healthy rivalry with Ipswich, actually. But yeah, just really looking forward to the fact that we're back where I think that's our bottom base, the Championship. I think the important thing is for us this year is to stabilise and hold our own in the Championship. I think it's unrealistic to go from where we were and how we have been in League One for the amount of time we have to go to challenging. You know, if you get all your ducks in a row, who knows? But just stabilise, strengthen, and make ourselves an established Championship club and go again.
Curbs, how difficult is it now? I mean, you're already playing catch up, as you've mentioned too.
It's not so much that. It's trying to bring in established Championship players. You know, because you're not established. So you know, you're tempting players to come in, and you know, I don't know the ins and outs of the club, but when we went into the Premier League, you're attracting players with relegation clauses. You know, and if you're going for a player that's been in the Premier League for some time, he ain't going to accept a relegation clause. You know, because you've got to safeguard the club. You can't go bang, 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 and you go back down, and then you're in trouble. So it's really difficult until you become established in that league. But we are attractive. I'm not sure if Nathan goes a lot on loans, but obviously we had a couple of loans last year. But you know, where we are situated with the London clubs, you know, we have done very well over the years. The Gallaghers, the Cullens. I would imagine
Premier League London clubs as well.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, so, a lot.
And what it is as well, the people at them London clubs who look after the loans haven't got to travel too far. That's a big bonus.
Yeah.
No. You know, Gallagher went to Swansea.
Yeah.
So whoever's looking after the Chelsea loanees has got to go and watch them at Swansea.
Yeah.
Well, come here.
Yeah.
You know, so West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. I think that's a route. I'm not sure about Nathan, but it's one of the routes I'll go.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the retained list as we speak, shall we? I mean, Liz and Brownie, where do you want to go with this? Any surprises?
Not really. I don't think so. No, I mean, the Thierry Small situation probably you would have hoped would have been sorted out, and clearly that I always think if someone hasn't sorted it out by the season end, that's not working in your favour. But I could be wrong. You know, I just think my mindset was I wanted it done before the end of the season. The only reason I wouldn't want it done is because I'm looking to move on.
Yeah.
I'd always want it done, dusted, so I can go and enjoy my summer. But you know, maybe an ulterior motive, I don't know. But no, I don't think so. I think that's probably as you would expect.
Yeah, I'm with Brian. I think even if we didn't get promoted, I think those players probably would have moved on. And the fact that we've got so many out of contract now, I think it gives the manager a good base now to try and get some new players in, players that he may be fancying and maybe that he's looked at. And yeah, I think it is what it is. I don't see any surprises with those listed at all.
Yeah, I think always a difficulty, and I can say this from experience, is that when the club goes up and you're on a contract, so there's players there that aren't named, that are still under contract, you are looking at who's being signed. Like you go home and you have a summer off and you're on a high, you've won promotion, but then that first signing comes in, it's a centre half, and you're like, oh my God.
It's going to happen, surely. It's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got a centre back there.
God.
You might bring another 3 centre backs, and then you're at home and you're sinking in yourself.
Yeah, you do. It's horrible, but it is part of football.
And you said you can't be too loyal. You know, you appreciate what the job has done, but you got to look forward, not backwards. I'm not talking about sort of straight into the first team, but how many players do you feel we need?
Well, it looks like 7's going. Did it there? Was it about 7? It looks about 7.
It's up
you
there.
know. So I should imagine Nathan will be looking at least a 7 to replace him. Not too sure what route he'll go down, but I did hear something that before the game at Wembley, the targets were going to be the same if we went up or stayed down. Well, you know, that might have changed a little bit, I must admit, because, as I said, you might not be able to buy established Championship players, but you might be able to loan one or two of them, you know?
Yeah, this is a very attractive place to be.
Yeah,
for 100%. And it should be an absolute hell of a season next season. We are really, really looking forward to it. And you can be part of it, of course. Charlton are back in the Championship and the season tickets are on sale right now. Adult season tickets start from just £375, which equates to only £16.31 per game. Under 12s can still claim a free season ticket in the family stand when accompanied by a full paying adult. Visit cafc.co.uk to get yours now. And Brownie, we've touched on it as well, haven't we, about the attendances of this season. You know, they weren't great, but we've seen the potential, haven't we? Curbs has talked about the away fans are going to be there next year. This could be a really rocking valley. When for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been tough to look at, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's a completely different place when you're getting 20,000. I think 20,000 the market. You get above 20,000 and you get a very, very good atmosphere in here. I think at times we'll see sellouts next year. I think for the poorer, the ones with the away fans that have less, you're going to see 22, 23, maybe, I don't know. But it is a completely different place, and you've got some very, very good teams coming in next year. You know, there are some big clubs that probably are Premier League clubs that are stuck in the Championship, and they will bring a following, and that will always make a difference. But yeah, I think we should see 20,000 pluses next year.
Liz, it's been an incredible season. How would you sum it up?
Yeah, I mean, it's up and down. And like, as you say, December, you're thinking it's going to be another season where we're sitting here talking about what could have been. And obviously the players, the club, the manager turns it around, and all of a sudden we go on this unbelievable run and we look like the side that we hoped we would be. Never would have expected that at the beginning of the season, and just grateful to be a part of it this year, a massive part of it with everything that we've done, and looking forward to next season.
Final word to you then, Curbs. How excited are you for the future?
I think the word for the club at the moment is infused. I think everybody has got a bit of what can happen and where we could go, and I think hopefully this is the start of the rebuilding.
Yeah. So we are infused. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved working with you guys this season, albeit on a different kind of level to how it's been the previous 3 seasons. I hope you've enjoyed it as well, watching at home. Us all making fun of each other, but loving working on the monthly shows, and we hope there'll be plenty more to come. Well done to everybody, the consortium, the owners, the coaching staff, Nathan, the players as well, and everybody behind the scenes who goes, you don't actually notice them. Absolutely, I was going to finish on the fans, but you don't notice what goes on behind the scenes. So all those people, including here at Charlton TV as well. So our thanks to the production company. As always, been an absolute pleasure. But mostly to you, the fans. It's been a real tough watch in the last few years. We know that, but onwards and upwards. We're back in the Championship, and who knows the future. Have a great summer. Bye for now.